Sewing requires lots of creativity, and even with some mending you have to be creative because sometimes there's no simple way to do it. And where to get all this inspiration? Everywhere. Sometimes you can get inspired when you see a nice color palette, some quirky decor, or even plants. Any book or magazine you're reading are ideal to get inspired and to get some inspiration from. And they don't even have to be sewing related. You can be reading a novel, or you can be having a look at a Vogue magazine and get some ideas from there. And even ads. We all laugh at perfume commercials. You're not the only one. But they are made by experts. They know how to combine different colors, different styles, and to contrast stuff. So they are ideal to get some inspiration from. Major tip when you're struck with inspiration, take notes. We all forget about everything nowadays. We have so much in our heads that we always forget even the most simple thing. So take some notes, even in your phone or on a piece of paper, or even when you see a fabric you like from your stash, put a pin with a note with the pattern you want to follow or the color combination that will be ideal for that, so that way you don't forget.
Oh, she looks lovely. She always wears some gorgeous garments.
Social networks are ideal to get some inspiration from because you can have a closer look into people that are really good at different things, different topics, people that create outfits, makeup, different hairdos. It's amazing. And some people now are starting their own business based on this, so it's fantastic. And of course you can get inspired by them because maybe there's some things you have in your wardrobe and you haven't realized how to combine them properly or how to combine them together, and that's what it shows you, different ways to do the same thing. And of course, films and series. I loved Panam years ago, and I loved The Queen's Gambit, of course. And you can't forget Miss Maisel. If you haven't watched Miss Maisel and you like sewing, it's a must. You need to watch it. It's amazing, all the different outfits they created for her. And that's the trick, they are so nicely done and we like them so much because they are made for a body and they are made for a person in particular. You don't have to be a supermodel for an outfit to look great, because when it's made for you and for your body and taking into account all your different measurements, it's going to look great. And after all of that, if you still need some inspiration, you should get a pattern magazine. They're ideal, they bring lots of different patterns, and I always say you get one and with some modifications you can sew the whole year round. They're amazing, then bring loads. And the same with sewing technique books. They are really interesting, you learn a lot from them, of course, and maybe you're not going to sew a couture dress, but you can use the technique to make your neckline stay in place for your next project. And there's no better way to get some inspiration than from your own fabric stash. Have a look at it. I'm sure you have forgotten about the remnants you bought 3 years ago and you haven't used, and it's an ideal way to get some inspiration. Maybe something reminds you of an outfit you saw somewhere, or to a blouse you saw someone wearing to a wedding. So have a look. I'm sure you'll get inspired by them. And even when we take all of these things into account, sometimes your sewjo is really low and you don't really feel like sewing. And that's the time when mistakes are made. I'm sure it's happened to you that you've sewn right and wrong size together, your thread has broken and things like that. You have cut patterns wrong and it makes you feel terrible and it makes you feel like throwing the machine out of the window. But don't worry, because this happens to everyone and your sewjo will come back sooner or later, but it will come back. And of course, if the sewing room is a mess, you won't be inspired by any chance. So keep your sewing room tidy, try to keep it in shape, so when inspiration strikes, you are ready for it. Well, I hope this was useful. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have different points of view, different ways of getting inspired, don't forget to leave them down in the comments below. I appreciate it because it's always nice to see different opinions. And don't forget to subscribe and to share with someone who might like this content, and I'll see you next week. And of course, I'll leave you a link to other talking about sewing videos like sewing efficiently, different opinions about sewing, a lot of interesting topics. So stick around for a while. Bye!